My name is Amy Nichols, and this is my audience. Have you ever wondered what drives a person to do the things that they do, or what makes each person unique? Freud was intrigued by these same questions and devoted much of his career to finding the answers. I first became interested in the ideas of Sigmund Freud while taking a class in psychology. Since then, I have continued to study his work. Today, I'm going to discuss some of Sigmund Freud's more interesting theories. According to Columbia Electronic Encyclopedia, in considering the human personality as a whole, Freud divided it into three separate functional parts: the ID, ego, and superego. The ID, as described by Freud, is the component of personality that functions in the unconscious. The ID's basic function is to seek out immediate gratification for needs. Freud also described it as the only personality trait present since birth. In other words, the ID is what drives us to seek out our needs, but lacks the ability to do it in a realistic way. The ego's function is to ensure that the needs of the ID are met, but in a realistic, socially acceptable manner. The ego functions in all aspects of consciousness. The ego is the part of personality that deals with reality. The superego is the final level of personality. The superego is where our moral compass and rule set come into play. The superego seeks to govern over the ID and ego to ensure that the ID's needs are met, but in the most idealistic way. Freud also studied the meaning of dreams. According to Pamela Thurswell, Freud considered The Interpretation of Dreams, 1900, his most important work. Freud believed that dreams were a reflection of the unconscious, or ID. He thought that by analyzing dreams, he would have a better understanding of what makes a person tick. Freud also believed that dreams were a way for our innermost urges to emerge. Freud relied heavily on symbolism when deciphering dreams. Finally, Freud developed a theory concerning psychosexual development. Freud believed that each person goes through 5 pleasure-seeking phases. He believed that the ID becomes focused on particular erogenous zones during different times from birth up until adulthood. The way each person develops through these stages could determine certain parts of that person's personality traits. Freud believed that if a person does not move through each stage, a fixation could occur. For example, during the oral stage, which lasts from birth to 1 year, the primary conflict is weaning. If a fixation occurs during this stage, a person could develop habits such as overeating, chain smoking, or nail biting. In conclusion, this has been a brief review of Freud's most interesting ideas, but much more is left to be uncovered about Freud. According to a biography by Bernard Cook, Freud was the founder of psychoanalysis and as such has had a tremendous impact on contemporary thought and popular culture by boring the irrational and subconscious roots of human nature.